An all-out assault on natural resource development in Canada. I'm Brian Lilly with Rebel.media. Do you remember back to January, late January? It was the 27th to be exact. Natural Resources Minister James Carr and Catherine McKenna, our Environment Minister, came together at the National Press Theatre to announce interim changes to the National Energy Board, and specifically projects such as Kinder Morgan's Trans Mountain Pipeline and the Energy East project. They wanted to add in delays. They wanted to add in new temporary members to the board and a change in how these decisions would be made. But they promised more was to come. Well, that more is here. Check out this news release posted to the Government of Canada website. It's titled, "Government Launches Review of Environmental and Regulatory Processes to Restore Public Trust." That doesn't sound like an awful lot, but then you realize that 6 different cabinet ministers came forward to speak to this. Science Minister Kirsty Duncan, Aboriginal Affairs Minister Carolyn Bennett, Liberal House Leader and Fisheries Minister Dominic LeBlanc, Transport Minister Mark Garneau, Environment Minister Catherine McKenna, and Natural Resources Minister James Carr. Now, what is going to happen here is that different review processes are going to be set up by the Environment Department, by Transport, by Natural Resources, and by Fisheries. They're going to review the Fisheries Act, the Navigable Waters Act. They're going to review how the National Energy Board works, and they're going to review environmental processes, all the while consulting with Aboriginal leaders and the Minister of Science. Catherine McKenna says this is about bringing Canada and its regulatory process for projects such as pipelines into the 21st century.
And the reason we need to consult is because we need to rebuild trust in the environmental assessment process, and we also need to modernize it. And we know in the 21st century that you will not get resources to market unless you can show you've done it in a sustainable way, and that you're meeting your obligations to engage with Indigenous peoples, and you're making decisions based on science, evidence, and facts. And we need to hear from all of these groups.
Now, I wish that I could believe her when she says they want something that is fact-based. But remember, this is the government that shut down the Northern Gateway pipeline by announcing a tanker ban off the northern BC coast the day that they were sworn into government. They didn't even have to look at a single shred of evidence. This is the same government that, on the day they were sworn in, announced that they would be shutting down the proposed expansion of Toronto's Island Airport, again without looking at a single shred of fact-based evidence. This isn't about fact-based evidence. This is about stacking the deck. Even the terms of reference that are going to be put forward are open to public comment. They want the public to set the terms of reference. And you know, based on how they've consulted elsewhere, that they are going to stack the deck with environmentalists, with left-wing lobby groups, and then give them the review process they want. Transport Minister Mark Garneau asked, when are they going to get down to just governing instead of constantly consulting with people?
Part of governing is to actually speak to people, something the previous government didn't seem to feel so strongly about. We, as in the case of the Navigable Waters Act, will consult with Indigenous peoples. We will consult with people who live along these navigable waters, who make their living. This is a very reasonable thing to do, and we feel that as a government, we owe it to them.
But this is what the Liberals do now. They consult. They do not actually govern. They consult. They ask the people who they want to form the process what the policy should be, and then they give them the policy they want. It gives them a cover for going further to the left than they've ever been. We've already seen that Dogwood Initiative and the Georgia Strait Alliance and others plan to mob the mic as Cabinet considers the National Energy Board's proposal to allow the twinning of the Kinder Morgan pipeline that delivers oil into the Burnaby area. They want to mob the mic and make sure that nobody except those who oppose the pipeline are heard, and that same process could be playing out here. This is a sham. This is nothing but an assault on the development of natural resources in Canada and a reversal of sensible environmental regulations and laws that were brought in by the Harper government to harmonize standards across Canada. This is an all-out assault on natural resource development in Canada. It is a shame upon the Liberal Party and something that the rest of us are going to be paying for decades to come.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.